Welcome to The Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm getting a scoop with actress Julia Jones on her new movie, Think Like a Dog. Thank you so much, Julia, for chatting with me today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, Think Like a Dog, what a fun movie that you got to be a part of. What drew you into this project?
When I first read the script, I was most attracted to it because I really loved the relationship between this 12-year-old boy, Oliver, and his dog, Henry. I had a dog growing up that I was really close to, and I just found the story was really sweet. And that was the main thing for me. And then when I met everybody, and everybody was so fun and nice and kind, and there was great chemistry, it just turned into an extremely fun summer.
Yeah, it's always fun hearing kind of what happens behind the scenes or when you guys aren't filming. Was there anything really fun that the cast and crew kind of did together through the summer?
Yeah, first of all, we got to film in two really very different but very rich, wonderful places, New Orleans, Louisiana, and then Beijing in China. And exploring those cities sort of together. Yeah, together. We had dinners and we hung out a good amount. Was really, really fun.
Yeah, so Think Like a Dog, I watched it, and like you mentioned, with the animals and everything, I feel like it really was just a fun, positive movie. And with everything that's kind of happening negative even in the world or just in life when people are down, these kind of movies are so important. What do you hope that people get out of the movie?
I guess two things. Like, one is just sort of what you said. I think it's kind of feels like a gift now anytime you can kind of just take a little break and be entertained and get involved in something that makes you feel uplifted. So that would be part of it. But then also I think that there's a theme and a message in the film that is important, especially right now with everything that's going on. And, Henry is this dog who we kind of would think dogs are sort of simple and his thoughts aren't like dealing with the real world, but actually his approach to life is one where things like love and connecting are the most important thing, and that's sort of how he helps Oliver, this 12-year-old boy, navigate some of the things he's dealing with at home and at school. And we just get back to that.
Exactly. And I think too, you mentioned even like you had a dog growing up and people are just so close to their animals. I just find it interesting to kind of get what you think that from watching the movie, working on the movie, dogs are really saying.
Yeah. I don't know because I can't read animal minds. Maybe there's like a chaotic world going on and they're just really good at hiding. I don't know. But I think there is something to that too. And this is why we love we love animals and we love having pets, and I think that they don't bring all that stuff to the table that occupies our mind and that I think is distracting to us as we try to navigate life. It's like back to basics. It's like food, sleep, love. Like that's it. And maybe there's definitely a lot to that.
Yeah, no, I love that message. Let's talk about a little bit about your character. So, do you feel like you really related to her? Kind of like tell people that haven't seen the film yet, like why your character is so important.
Well, I enjoyed playing that character because it was very different from anything that I had done before. Mostly there's an element of comedy, and she's not like a funny character at all. She's kind of a grump in a way, but she has this very funny partner, and that was a highlight for me to work with Brian Callen, who was an extremely funny person. And I was trying to honestly learn as much. I was like, Brian, tell me how to do comedy. How does it work? What do you do? And he would try to help me. Brian made some videos which I think are on his Instagram with Josh. I know there's one with Josh Duhamel, and when we did one together, they're funny. If you want to laugh, check them out. They're kind of behind the scenes things. So that was one thing that was important for me, I guess, to just sort of have a really different experience and to explore comedy in a way that I hadn't before.
Well, you've really had a variety of roles that you've done throughout your career. How do you see this role impacting your decisions in the future? Will this be kind of what we see from you, or are you going to kind of stick with your other types of roles? Like, what do you think moving forward as an actress you'll be doing?
It's funny. Really, the only control I have over what I do is like the things that I say no to.
Yeah.
Things kind of like come to you basically, and you don't have control over what people are thinking of for you. And I think there's something nice about that, because I honestly don't know if I don't know. I mean, I know there are people who are in positions. I don't know if I would want to say, okay, now I want to do this, and now after that, I'm going to do this, and then I want to do that, and then that, and then that, because I've found that, like, oftentimes some of the best experiences I have, and certainly the ones that I learn the most from, are the ones that were completely unexpected, that I never would have thought that I would have wanted to do, or that I would have had an opportunity to do at all. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to get a little more into kind of a little, like, behind the scenes, developing, producing stuff, and that's something that I'm focusing on right now, just kind of to have a new experience even. And but as far as the characters that come along, or the projects or the roles, that's one of the things that makes getting up every day kind of exciting. Like, what's going to happen today? What am I going to read today?
Well, and Julia, I love that you said that, because I think that's honestly kind of a lesson that everyone can use in their lives in general, whether they're an actress or not. You just be open to new adventures and ideas and things like that.
Yeah, I really do try to kind of go through this whole thing, like like this whole life thing. Yeah, and the worst case is you learn. I do value, like, kind of being surprised and like letting go and seeing what happens.
Yeah. What was it like working with Henry? He's absolutely adorable, seems so well trained.
Yeah, he's like, well, first of all, there's 3 Henrys. I think it's 3, because almost like children, you don't want to have a dog working such long hours, so they sort of bring them in and out. I love working with a dog. Having a dog on set, it just created this really light, fun, positive environment. The dogs are extremely professional, very well-behaved individuals. And if anything, I mean, there are definitely times where I was like, doing a scene with one of the dogs and just thinking, gosh, I really got to up my game. This dog is really good.
Yeah, I would imagine it gives you a whole different kind of dynamic when you are, usually it's just people, and then you throw in these well-trained dogs. It just seemed like it would be a lot of fun on set.
It is. It becomes loose, and, the dogs, I think would sort of figure out what specific things, like, they wanted the dogs to do kind of as we went along, and sometimes the dogs would be up for that, and sometimes they wouldn't, and they would do something else, and you just kind of make that work. This is, again, like, just going with it and seeing what happens, and, like, lots of times you get happy accidents when you do that, and I think with filmmaking, I find that that's when the best things happen, when they're happy accidents.
The story is around this teenage boy who is really thinking outside the box. And even as an actress, like, you aren't doing a typical 9-to-5 job. And there's a lot of people that are out there in the world. And I was just kind of curious, what advice do you give to people like the boy in this movie, that are, whether they're teenagers, adults, whatever, that want to go after dreams that aren't necessarily what they grew up seeing?
So people who want to do something other than what they've kind of like been conditioned to do?
Yeah, or, like, being an actress, it's a different kind of world. And so a lot of people probably look to you as like, wow, she lives this kind of lifestyle. And I know I get a lot of reader questions about, like, people that are doing something just out of the ordinary. And even this young boy with his science experiment, and then in your personal life, like, just what advice do you have to people? Because it can be intimidating to try something, and then there's so much competition or things like that. And just what have you done in your life, or advice you would give to people?
I mean, some of the best advice I've ever gotten, or that I think about the most, especially when I'm trying to make decisions, is like, trust your instincts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if that is your kind of guiding principle, then I feel like you kind of can't go wrong. You won't necessarily have like a straight course to your goal. It'll probably be pretty windy, but I feel the most like I'm in the journey, that I'm in the right place, the place I'm supposed to be when I'm listening to my instincts and not listening to what other people are telling me that I should do necessarily. Not that, like, advice is extremely valuable, and I think it, like, can help you, like, clarify what your instincts are in some ways, but being true to yourself, and you do have to be pretty fearless, and you can't be afraid to fail. or you can be afraid to fail, but you have to be like okay with the fact that you're afraid to fail.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of the message of this movie too. So finally, just for people that are listening in, why should they watch Think Like a Dog?
If you want to really enjoy a couple hours of your life these days, which I think you do.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I mean, it's such a pleasant, fun family film. It's great for everybody to watch. You can watch it with your whole family. One of the reasons I'm excited about it is because it's something that my friends' kids can watch, that I'm a part of, because that's kind of a rare thing. Yeah, it's a really feel good film, and I think that is in order.
I completely agree. I thought it was a great movie. Thank you so much, Julia, for taking the time to chat with me, and we will all make sure to watch Think Like a Dog.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Nice talking to you.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.